Demand forecasting. What quantity of a product should be made? With the exception of custom product development, in which products are made only when orders are received, this question is for most manufacturers and products a fundamental issue that has a tremendous influence on a company's business performance. This, in turn, creates the need for demand forecasting, which forecasts future demand using various data sets and statistics. The main types of demand forecasting methods are those based on the relationship of variables of influence, regression analysis, and forecasts based on chronology, time series. Among the numerical values which have an influence on demand, regression analysis uses factors known ahead of time. For example, it can be used to forecast automobile demand if we know the number of vehicles owned and the replacement cycle. Time series analysis is a forecasting method that uncovers patterns by analyzing temporal alterations of past data, such as sales volume. A typical forecasting method based on time series analysis is the moving average method. Here, we provide a general description of the moving average method and least squares method. One, moving average method. Variations in demand increase as period is shortened and decrease as period is lengthened. The moving average method uses this tendency to gain an understanding of trends in demand. Examine the chart below. At first glance, there appear to be no valid trends since the performance value numbers vary inconsistently. Next, we calculate the moving average for each period of 3 months, which is generated by calculating the average values for each 3-month period. Then, if we look at the changes in the moving average, we find that the performance trend increases throughout the chart. Cautionary note: in inventory control, a moving average may have a different meaning. It can indicate a method to change the issued unit price at the time of sale into the average unit price, by calculating the mean value of the unit price from the sum of the purchase price and the accepted volume. Two, least squares method. When there is any relationship between two variables, a value which displays the strength of such relationship is called a correlation coefficient. A correlation coefficient takes a value between -1 and +1, and is said to have a positive correlation in the relationship of the two values, when the value is close to +1, and said to have a negative correlation when the value is close to -1. The closer to +1 or -1 the correlation coefficient value is, the stronger the correlation is. The least squares method makes future forecasts by applying a line to past performance data, quadratic curves, etc. It is used in regression analysis, which analyses variables thought to have a correlation. This method is employed primarily for relatively long-term forecasts, and forecasts the future by obtaining a linear curve which minimizes the differences between performance values. This linear curve is called a regression line. A linear curve formula can be calculated by taking the square root of the minimal sum of the deviations squared, so that the performance differences are not cancelled out by plus minus. His method of calculation is the source of its name, least squares method.